This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we're doing Unit 1, Lesson 7, Solve Multi-Step Word Problems. Our learning target states, I can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division to solve problems that involve more than one step. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is kind of the steps of solving a multi-step word problem. We're going to solve some multi-step word problems today. For some problems, you might want to write an equation using parentheses, or you may solve them using separate steps. Either way is fine. Multi-step problems give you opportunities to use the algebraic language and notation you've been learning. And it's important to label all your work with letters or some other symbol so that you know your numbers related to the problem. And lastly, and we'll be talking a lot about this one today, some multi-step problems have hidden questions that are not asked but need to be answered to solve the problem. One thing when we talk about word problems, and you'll see this multiple times over the course of the year, is we like to use what's called the cubes method. So C stands for circle any numbers that are in the problem. U stands for underline the question. B says box the key words. E is evaluate and draw. And S is solve and check your work. So we're going to be using those steps today as we solve some of these word problems. Another useful thing is the key words in word problems. There are many keywords that help us know which operation we're supposed to do. And these are some of them. There are more. And both of these resources will be in the Schoology folder for you to go back and look at, both the cubes and the keyword posters. So for example, when we're adding, some of the words you might see is add, sum, total, altogether, plus, and in all. Multiplying, we might see multiply, product, times, twice, total, or multiplied by. Subtract, we might see subtract, remain, difference, less than, fewer, how many more, and minus. And for divide, we might see divide, quotient, goes into, splits equally, and each. Knowing these keywords can really help you know what to do in word problems. So this is a good post to refer back to, and ultimately it'd be best if you know and memorize which words go with each operation. So let's go ahead and try both the cubes technique and using those words and try to identify hidden questions as we read our word problem. So first let's read it. It says Ellie reads 6 pages in a book each night. Shelby reads 8 pages each night. How many pages altogether will Ellie and Shelby read in 1 week? Well, first off, let's go ahead and do these things. C is circle the numbers. So we know that Ellie read 6 pages in a book each night, and Shelby reads a total of 8 pages. So those are the two numbers that showed up in the problem. Underline the question, all right? How many pages altogether will Ellie and Shelby read in 1 week? Box any keywords. Well, I see a keyword right away that I want to box, and that keyword is all together. Okay? And then the other one is in 1 week. So all together, I'm going to jump back to that page and let's see which one of these operations is all together. Oh, there it is. It's an adding problem. When I see all together, I know that I'm going to have to add in this problem. All right? Now we're supposed to solve and check. Now the question is, what's the hidden question? And the hidden question in this one is it says, how many pages altogether will Ellie and Shelby read in 1 week? It doesn't say how many days are in a week. You just have to know that. That's the hidden question. So how many days are in 1 week? We know that there are 7 days in 1 week. All right? So we know there's 7 days in 1 week. We know that Ellie read 6 pages each night and Shelby reads 8 pages. And we need to know how many pages they read all together. And we learned that all together means we need to add it. So we're going to say, what is 6 plus 8? We know that 6 plus 8 is 14 pages. So they read 14 pages together each night. But we need to know how many they read in 1 week. So they read 14 pages each night and there's 7 days in the week, I'm actually going to multiply those. I'm going to say, okay, what is 14 times 7? So I'm going to do 4 times 7, which is 28. So put the 8 here, and I'll carry my 2. And 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So they will read a total of 98 pages, and I got to make sure I add my label, pages in 1 week. All right, sorry for my writing. A little hard to write on the computer. Pages in 1 week. All right, now let's go ahead and do the next question. It says, Team A and Team B have 17 players each. Team A has 6 girls. Team B has twice as many girls as Team A. On both teams, how many players are girls and how many players are boys? So again, I'm going to use my cubes method. First, I'm going to circle the numbers. Okay, so Team A and Team B have a total of 17 players. Team A has 6 girls, and Team B has twice as many girls. I'm going to actually say that that is a key word, that it's twice as many, okay? Twice as many girls. I'm going to box that one as Team A. And let's underline the question. So the question says, how many on both teams, how many players are girls and how many players are boys? Now we can evaluate and solve. Well, twice as many. I'm going to look back and see if there's anything in here that'll help me with twice. Look at twice is actually a multiply. So I know at some point I'm going to have to multiply here. So the first thing I'm going to try to figure out is how many girls are on each team. So I know that on Team A that there are 6 girls. It tells me that in the problem. But the question is, how many girls are on Team B? All right. So if we read the problem again carefully here, it says that on Team B has twice as many girls as Team A. So remember that multiply that we figured out? So I know they have twice as many, so I'm going to take 6 times 2, because we know they have twice as many, which tells me that Team B has a total of 12 girls. All right. So they want to know, part of the question, final question, asks how many total girls are there? How many total girls are there on the team? So on both teams. So if I want to know the total number of girls, I'm going to have to add these together. So total, so on both Team A and B, if I add 6 plus 12, I end up with a total of 18 girls. So that's part of the problem. And now we have to figure out how many boys are on each team. I know that each team has 17 players on it. So I need to figure out the total number of players on both Team A and Team B. So I'm going to take 17, and I'm going to actually multiply it by 2 because each team, there's 2 teams, have 17 players. So 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to carry my 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So total, there are 34 people on both teams. And I know that 18 of these were girls. So to figure out boys, I'm going to do 34, and I'm going to subtract, 'cause that's the total number, minus those 18 girls. I'm going to go ahead and solve for that. So, oh, I can't subtract 4 from 8, so I'm going to have to take one from here and make this a 2, which makes this turn into a 14. So 14 minus 8 ends up being 6, and 2 minus 1 ends up being 1. So there are 16 boys on team B and A combined. So let's just check. Let's do the solve and check part, the S. I had to solve for how many players are boys, which we got was 16, and how many players are girls, which we got was 18. All right, let's have you try one of the problems here. So again, I want you to use these cubes method, and I'll go through this with you, and then I want you to try to solve the problem on your own. So here's what it says. It says a pet shop is home to 6 cats, 10 birds, 3 dogs, and 18 tropical fish. Altogether, how many legs do those pets have? Well, let's go ahead and circle our numbers. We know that we have 6 cats, 10 birds, 3 dogs, and 18 tropical fish. All together, I'm going to consider that a key word. All together, how many legs do the pets have? So let's underline our question. The U. I boxed my keywords. I'm going to underline how many legs do those pets have. So that's what we're trying to find. Now, what is our hidden question in this one? And the question, the hidden question, is how many legs each of these animals have, right? So that's something I want you to think about when you're going to solve it, is how many legs each of these have. And all together, if we jump back to that nice chart, all together, oh, look at, it's an adding thing. So you're going to have to do something with adding to solve this problem. So go ahead and work through it, and then we'll see how you do. All right, so the first thing I would do is I would write in that missing information, that hidden question. Cats have how many legs? They have 4 legs. Birds have 2 legs. Dogs also have 4 legs. And tropical fish, guess what? They don't have legs, right? They have 0 legs. So really this tropical fish part is just extra information, right? Because I want to know how many legs do the pets have. The tropical fish have no legs. So first I'm going to figure out how many legs, number of cats I have. So in order to do that, I have 6 cats. They each have 4 legs. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 6 times 4 gives me that the cats have a total of 24 legs. Okay. Legs. Birds have 2 legs, and there's 10 of them, so I'm going to do 10 times 2, which tells us that the birds have a total of 20 legs. And then the dogs have, there's 3 dogs, and they each have 4 legs. We'll do 3 times 4. Which gives us 12. And now I have to figure out how many legs they have all together. And again, what did we decide all together was? Adding. So I'm going to have to add all of these together to get the total number of legs. Again, I want to make sure I label my answer. So let's see, 24 plus 20 would give me 34, 44. Plus 12 more would give me 54, 55, 56 legs. So you should have come up with a total of 56 legs all together. Great work. Today we worked on solving multi-step problems. We learned about the cubes method and also talked about keywords when we're trying to solve word problems. You can continue your practice in Schoology.